Parliament has started discussing the supplementary budget, which may push the 2014-2015 national budget to 780 billion kwacha. A state witness contradicts Mpio in a case in which some key profile people are being accused of attempted murder of the former budget director. A blame game has ensued between Zomba City Council and the environmentalists on whether to cut trees which are posing a threat to people's lives. And in sports, former chief of Namibia Football Association urges Malawians to support big bullets in CAF Champions League assignments. Domestic resources and reduced grants. Of the 32 billion kwacha, 10 billion kwacha will supplement the farm input subsidy program, which many critics have argued is milking government resources with little benefits. Robert Kalua reports.
Business in the House this afternoon resumed at 14 hours, with members of Parliament discussing the revised budget to different ministries. Some of the ministries have received an addition of funds. For instance, the Minister of Local Government has received 12 billion, with Minister of Agriculture revised budget from 140 billion to 154 billion. However, there was a point of order from Member of Parliament for Salima South, who is also the leader of PP in the House, Oladi Musa, who asked the Minister of Finance to clarify on the increment and reduction of funds for the House to be clear on why the funds have been increased or reduced. In response, the Minister of Finance accepted and did the clarification. The House saw a huge debate after vote 180 of the revised budget of Ministry of Youth and Sports Development was read by the Chair and confirmed by the Minister of Finance, where it was noted that Ministry of Sports funds have been reduced with 39% from 1.7 billion to 655 million. Members of Parliament, for instance, from Dowa North, Sam Kawale, and Member of Parliament for Deza East, Juliana Lenguzi, argued that the amount deducted was too much and that it would hinder the youth development in the country. In total, the Committee of Supply approved 18 votes to various departments and ministries. From Parliament building in Milongwe, this is Robert Karua.
A state witness has contradicted Mr. Mpio in a case in which some key profile people are being accused of attempted murder of the former budget director. Jesse Musa Kafue, a former housemaid of one of the accused, former Justice Minister Raphael Kasambara, continued to present her evidence today. She dismissed evidence provided by Mr. Mpio that he never visited the house of Mr. Kasambara on the day he was shot, 13 February 2013, saying she saw him having a chat with Mr. Kasambara at Mr. Kasambara's house. Charles Wahara has the details.
Mrs. Jessie Musa, former maid of Raf Kasambara, on Thursday morning continued to give her testimony to the court in the attempted murder trial of former budget director Mpio. Musa, in her testimony, contradicted Mr. Mpio, who is in record to have told the court that he never visited Mr. Kasambara at his house on 13th September 2013. She maintained that Mr. Mpio left Mr. Kasambara's house around 6 p.m. on 13th September, hours before he was shot, after dropping a bag containing cash at Mr. Kasambara's house. She told the court that she is ready to face Mr. Mpio and stand her ground that Mr. Mpio visited the former Justice Minister on the mentioned date. And in her testimony, Jessie Musa continued to reveal that what police recorded in her statement is totally different from what she told the police. The former maid added that when police recorded her statement, they never read the contents in the statement to her, but was told to sign the statement, and she did not bother to ask. During the session, Pika Manondo and Raf Kasambara kept whispering in each other's ear as Musa stood her ground facing the defense team, unlike Wednesday when most of the time she faced Justice Mike Ontambo. The state witness told the court that on Sunday, 14th September 2013, at around 1 p.m., Mrs. Kasambara told her that the man who had visited them on the last day was Mr. Mpio and was shot, later on taken to hospital. From High Court Lilongwe, this is Charles Wahara.
A blame game has ensued between Zomba City Council and the environmentalists on whether to cut down big and aged trees which are posing a threat to people's lives and property. The City Council says it cannot cut down the trees because the environmentalists demand that they should be preserved. but the experts accuse the council of failing to manage the trees so as to prevent accidents. On Sunday, an aged mahogany tree fell apart at Zomba Central Hospital and killed 2 people in the process. Kasim Aubi reports.
On Sunday afternoon, 2 people were killed and 7 others injured after 2 branches of one of the trees at Zomba Central Hospital premises fell on them. While some people are calling on authorities to cut all the big trees around the city to avoid more accidents, Zomba City Council, which looks after the trees, says the council is failing to remove the trees because some environmental stakeholders in the city insisted that the trees should not be removed. Acting Chief Executive for Zomba City Council, Mr. Musa Mwale, said the council is aware that some trees have overstayed and need to be removed, but the council cannot do so because stakeholders under the Zomba Environmental Stakeholders Committee demanded that the trees should not be removed. According to Mr. Mwale, the stakeholders argue that the trees help the city to look attractive and favorable for people to stay in, and therefore no need to be removed. But speaking to ZBS, Zomba Environmental Stakeholders Committee Secretary Dr. Clement Chirima, while blaming the council of failing to manage the trees, said not all trees in the city need to be cut, but rather to be pruned to reduce weight. He said his committee has been advising the city council to trim some of the trees that are a threat to lives and property, but the council has not taken heed of the advice. Meanwhile, as residents in the city continue to live in fear following the accident that happened at Zomba Central Hospital, another big tree at Gincana Ground is also at the verge of falling down, putting lives of those that pass by the tree at risk of being injured or being killed. For ZBS in Zomba, this is Kasim Aubi reporting.
Agriculture authorities say introduction of agriculture education under the Technical, Entrepreneurial, Vocational and Training Authority will help accelerate and improve in the agriculture sector in Malawi. This was disclosed during an agriculture education and training workshop in Lilongwe on Thursday. Winston Mwale reports.
The one-day agriculture education and training workshop brought together a diverse group of stakeholders. Their main objective was to discuss the implementation of agriculture education and technical institutional reforms at national level. Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Professor Emmanuel Kaunda, says the workshop was crucial as far as agriculture education and training in the country is concerned. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Erica Maganga, says the introduction of agriculture education and training is in line with the agriculture sector-wide approach. Accounting for 30% of the country's GDP, agriculture is the mainstay of Malawi's economy. Winston Mwale, Zodiak.
This is Zodiac News with more news just after this. Welcome back. I'm Joab Frank Chakaza. The top stories tonight. Parliament has started discussing the supplementary budget, which may push the 2014-2015 national budget to 780 billion kwacha. A state witness contradicts Mpio in a case in which some key profile people are being accused of attempted murder of the former budget director. A blame game has ensued between Zomba City Council and environmentalists on whether to cut trees which are posing a threat to people's lives. And in sports, former chief of Namibia Football Association urges Malawians to support Big Bullets in CAF Champions League assignments. And moving on with the news, members of a network of civil society organizations working towards the promotion of girls' education in Malawi say they are ready to make the Marriage Age, Divorce and Family Relations Act work once President Peter Mutharika has assented to it. Forum for African Women Educationalists in Malawi National Coordinator Hendrina Giva says passing of the bill is a milestone, but says a lot needs to be done to protect the girl child. Jacqueline Hema reports.
Since Parliament approved the Marriage, Divorce and Family Relations Bill into law, various commentators have spoken on the bill, with some commending the efforts by Parliament to have the bill in place. Now a network of civil society organizations working on promoting girls' education in Malawi says it is geared towards making the act work in protecting the girl child. National coordinator of the Forum for the African Women Educationalists in Malawi, Fawema Hendrina Giver, while commending Parliament for passing the bill into law, said there is more work to do to make it effective. At a meeting held in Lilongwe on Thursday, Mrs. Giver said organizations under Fawema have a big role to ensure that sensitization on the bill is done at all levels, but said they will swing into full action after the president assents to it.
The bill is comprehensive, and we should also be mindful that the age 18 is the minimum. So if a girl decides not to marry at 18, that is her free will, and we will be happy that she marries at a later age, say 21 or 25, as so she wishes. There are also sentiments from civil society, even after the bill was passed. They are saying that 18 is too low. Listening to the safe motherhood circles, they are saying that 18 is too low because the body of the girl is not so mature at that time. So we are delighted that at least we have set the base at 18. And we are so appreciative that Parliament this time around has indeed passed the Marriage, Divorce and Family Relations Bill. Of course, the major issue now is the ascension of the bill. And that's something that we are looking forward to. And we are so sure that this is not the time to go back. We think that government is going to, the highest office now in the land is going to do what is needful, that is signing off, so that it is indeed an act. And on our side as civil society, as the members of the network, we would like to see that this Marriage Act works. Yes, because on its own it is not effective, and even government on its own cannot enforce it. Therefore, we are saying that as members of the network, we now have a duty to make sure that it is popular, it is popularized. We go to all the corners of the country because the membership is at about 96 now, and if each one of us plays our rightful role, we can spread the word.
An individual member of the network, Mrs. Mary Chirima, spouse of the country's vice president, challenged communities in the country to embrace a culture of encouraging girls to go to school and protect them from early marriages.
Communities should work together in protecting the girls from early marriages, because it's the same community that encourages the girl from childbirth to adulthood that marriage is the best option for her in life. So it will take our own Malawian collective thinking to stop looking at the girl child as a wife and limiting her, but to let her explore her capabilities and to become the best that she can be.
The theme for the meeting in Lilongwe was Marriage, Divorce and Family Relations Act 2015, Making It Work, and came a week after the bill, which limits the age for girls to 18, was passed by Parliament. This is Jacqueline Shema for Zodiac.
Kuwait has pledged continued support towards Malawi's health delivery system through training medical doctors. New Kuwait Ambassador Ahmad Khalid Arjaran spoke after presenting letters of credence to President Mutharika at the Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe. President Mutharika also received letters of credence from North Korea's Kim Yeon and Australia's Harold Gunther. Charles Wahara has more.
Speaking to members of the press after presenting letters of credence to President Peter Mutharika at Kamuzu Palace on Wednesday, the Kuwait ambassador-designate, Ahmad Khalid Al-Jiran, explained that his government wants to invest in the health sector by working with the Ministry of Health.
We're talking about the agreement between two countries. We need more agreement, health agreement, culture, not just the politics. That make our relationship is very stronger. And we looking to visit between the boss from each government. That's, for example, the Minister of Health to visit Kuwait, our Minister of Health to visit Malawi. This visiting become, the relation is more strong, and it's become until what our leaders looking for.
Ambassador Khalid Al-Jiran added that the Kuwait government plans to establish a charity organization in Malawi, which will, among other things, arrange that Malawian medical doctors should train in Kuwait. Earlier, President Mutharika also received letters of credence from North Korea Ambassador-designate Kim Hayon-il and Australian Ambassador-designate Harad Gantha. From Lilongwe, this is Charles Wahara.
The Malawi Police Service Commission has appointed Mr. Duncan Mwapasa as Deputy Inspector General of Police responsible for administration. Mwapasa replaces Lexten Gajama, who was appointed as Inspector General of Police and was confirmed by Parliament in his position on Wednesday, 18th February 2015. Government spokesperson Kondwani Nankumwa says the appointment of Mwapasa on the new position is with immediate effect. This is Zodiac. I'm Joab Frank Chakaza with the news. Shortly, we will have world news, but now to sports. Former Chief of Namibia Football Association John Muinjo says Malawi representative in the CAF Champions League Big Bullets need support from the corporate world for them to excel. Muinjo, who watched Bullets beat Fomboni FC 1-0 in Comoros Islands, told our reporter Mike Bango at Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Kenya that Bullets, given their support, can pull surprises in the tournament. Muinjo explains.
Well, this team is good. The mere fact that they came back with a win, 3 points for that matter, it shows that it has got character, and obviously back home they could pull off a good win as well. But you know, in football it's not over until it's over. They first have to finish the job because they start to celebrate. But all in all, they are having a very good chance. And as you know, in football it's not over until it's over. So they just have to fight until they could get a good result back home. They could go because I have seen that this team is good. Technically, tactically, they have got a very good team and very good players as well. The mere fact that they are participating, it shows that they could pull off a big surprise as well. It's not sometimes about, although we know that the resources are crucial, but obviously this is good for the country whenever a local club is participating in the African Championship or the Confederations Cup, because exposure is key, and this team could expose its players so that these players could come and whenever they come and play for the national team, then already everyone knows as to what is expected at that level. On top of that, it is also a window for players to be grabbed by potential bigger teams that could sign them for
Now on to international news. Sierra Leone launched a door-to-door search Wednesday for hidden Ebola patients as the head of the United Nations announced the world was at a critical turning point in the crisis. Dozens of healthcare workers fanned out across remote parts of Port Loko district east of the capital Freetown after a spike in cases attributed to unsafe burials and patients being hidden from the authorities. The two-week operation follows a larger exercise in December dubbed the Western Area Surge, when hundreds of volunteers knocked on doors across the west of Sierra Leone. The nation of 6 million has seen more than 11,000 cases and 3,400 deaths during the epidemic, which has raged in West Africa for more than a year. You've been watching the news on Zodiac. The top stories. Parliament has started discussing the supplementary budget, which may push the 2014-2015 national budget to 780 billion kwacha. A state witness contradicts Mpio in a case in which some key profile people are being accused of attempted murder of the former budget director. A blame game has ensued between Zomba City Council and the environmentalists on whether to cut trees which are posing a threat to people's lives. And in sports, former chief of Namibia Football Association urges Malawians to support big bullets in CAF Champions League assignments. Well, that's all we had for tonight. I'm Joab Frank Chakaza, and from me and the team, it's goodbye.